Number 4, there's no need for many kids. I can talk about this till next year. I don't know why most parents in my parents' age have a lot of kids. All I do is laugh. When I hear some people my age say they want to have 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 children, all I can say is good luck. One man's food is another man's poison at the end of the day. We live in a world where the only constant thing is inflation. Kids are way more expensive now, so you really need to take your time and think it through before jumping off that cliff. Even aside the financial implication, it's not easy to be there for one person. Talk more of 6, 7, or 8. You would definitely give more attention to some than others. Some children are just naturally needy, and it's those ones who you give less attention that might feel the lack of love and turn out to be bitter old adults in the future. Number 5, discover who you are. I'm glad that in this generation we care about getting to know ourselves, our true selves. I don't think my parents or yours had that space to discover themselves, to enjoy their own company, and when you don't know or have your own identity, you could easily get lost in someone else's. Or there could be this constant epiphany between doing what you consider or what others consider right or status quo versus doing what you feel you were meant to do. And we all know how that ends in regrets on a small or bigger scale. I feel a year or two in your 20s should be dedicated to being single and actually knowing yourself. Commit to yourself before committing to another human person. When I hear some parents say things like, I don't know what I am without my kids or my husband or my wife, I'm like, but why?
I gave you my kid. He is my whole life.
Which is maybe a problem.
I understand that they will always be a big part of your life, but you have to have your own identity without them. You would always be a mother and possibly always a wife. But what happens when your kids grow up and begin to live their own lives? What happens if your partner has to travel for like 1 year? Number 6, know your children's friends. Show me your friends and I will tell you who you are. Chances are the most influence on your children would come from their friends when they are much younger. I did not have a lot of friends growing up. I still do not have a lot of friends. Growing up, bringing your friends to my father's house wasn't something that was condoned. If you misbehaved in my father's house, you get whooped. I'm talking canes and kobokos, literally. But it actually made us wise and cautious. I learned the importance of friendship for the first time when my sister had an accident. And you would see her friends come to the house with gifts and big smiles and words of encouragement. And it just made her heal quickly. So having the few friends I have has made me braver, wiser, and has given me the most opportunities in my life. So when you make an effort to know your children's friends, you kind of keep them in check. Number 7, you need to let your children know that it's okay to ask for help. I don't know why in this world that we live in today, asking for help is seen as being weak, but it isn't. Everybody needs somebody at some level. The last but not the least, don't be too involved in your children's adulthood. My parents had it tough growing up, and I think those struggles made them strong, wise, and responsible. Most people in this generation, on the other hand, have things going almost easy for them, and some just tend to abuse or not appreciate those privileges. I might be wrong, but being too involved in a child's adulthood could make that child lazy and unproductive. And someone might ask me, what do you mean by being too involved?
I'm just saying, there's like helicopter parenting, there's snowplow parenting. What you're doing, this is saran wrap parenting. You're so tightly wrapped around this kid.
One thing to look for a job for your child after she's done with school. It's another thing to wake that child up every 7 a.m. on weekdays to say you have to go take your bath to go to work. Allow that child to go late. Allow that child to see the consequences of going late, as that is going to help him or her improve himself by the time he's questioned or queried at the office a couple of times. Robert Kiyosaki said, a hard life is good if it makes you more resourceful. People always say, I don't want my children to go through what I went through, which makes sense, but a little bit of struggle hasn't killed anyone. T.D. Jakes said, it's not about what you leave for the child, but what you leave in the child. It's like giving a child a fish versus teaching the child how to fish. What happens when you're no longer there? You could spend 60 years of your life building generational wealth, but hand all of that over to an irresponsible child and it would all be gone in 60 days. If you're from a rich background, lucky you. Simple advice, don't waste that opportunity. If you aren't from a rich background, lucky you. Don't waste an opportunity to make history. Make it the fuel you need to get to success. And I'll end by saying this. I am not from a rich background. I am not from a rich background. Ends the day you bring in a child to this world. Because at that point, you become the background. So it is time to stop complaining and actually do something about that situation you're not comfortable with. I really hope you got value from this content. As always, I'll see you next week.